I came out the fire, no smoke on me, scars in my soul, still I walk holy. They try to break me, but God rewrote me, endured the pain, now His glory shows me. Those who endure till the end shall be saved. I'm the Esther rising in these days, led out of Egypt, I'm blazing trails, from ashes to beauty, I lift the veil.
I was born in the chaos, daddy was a pimp. Mama tried to push me off the bed soon as I slipped in. 8 years in the system, 15 homes in 1 year. Foster care, blues, molested, but I'm still here. Pastor had hands where they never should have been. Ran at 15 just to breathe, to escape the sin. Adopted by a woman, said you'll never be enough. Cause my skin wasn't white, so the love was tough. Married a man, unequally yoked in pain. 15 years of storms, but I danced in the rain. Had 2 kids, they said I'd never hold. Now I raise kings and queens, fierce and bold.
I came out the fire, no smoke on me, scars.
God is saying to you today, I've watched you. I've watched everything you've been through. I've watched you fall. I've watched you get hurt. I've watched you fight and get back up. I've watched you learn. I've watched you grow. I've also watched how hard you've been working to become the best version of yourself. I see your heart today, and it's beautiful. It's pure, and it's ready to be loved the same way that I love you. So get ready, because what's coming next will be everything you have been praying for. I love you, my child. I am with you always and forever.
Trampled over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimonies. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Yeah, what up? This your boy T1, back with another podcast for y'all. Today is not really no lessons going on. I mainly want to talk about a testimony, specifically my testimony. I want to tell y'all, how God brought me through, how God helped me to become who I am right now and to be the person that I am, to come exactly where I am right now, to being a man of God. As y'all seen in the first verse that I read for y'all, how it speaks on the testimony, how he was covered with the blood of the Lamb, and a testimony is very powerful. It helps you to make it from certain things that you go through in life. It helps you to grow. And a testimony is something that can also help other people that's going through something similar, or they can just be going through something in their life, and it may give them hope to, depend on God, because He's seen what He brought that person through. So I want to tell y'all my testimony of what I've been through. First of all, it started off when I was young. I'm going to go back as far as, 10 years old. I don't really like talking about this like that, but, I'm going to do it. But back when I was 10, me and my cousin, we had gotten an argument. And, I wanted to leave. I wanted to go home. I didn't want to be there no more, because that argument kind of like turned into a fight, a fist fight between me and my cousin. And because of that, I left the house and I walked. And we were in D.C. and at the time I lived in Maryland with my mother. So, a 10-year-old boy walking from D.C. to Maryland, that's a good little walk, if you know anything about the D.C., Maryland, DMV area. But like I said, I was 10. And it started to get real late. So I started to get scared. I'm 10 years old. It's getting dark time. I mean, I want to go back to the house. So I go back, and in the process of me doing that, I figured going through the alley would be a lot faster to get to the house than going all the way around the block and, not getting there fast. So in doing that, a crackhead noticed me going back there. And I kind of heard him behind me, so I turned around. And when I seen him, he grabbed me. And I'm yanking away. I'm trying to get away. And he tried to pull my pants down. And I did get away. I yanked away. I got free. And I broke through the back door of my uncle's house. My cousin's coming there from looking for me with the dogs. And I was in the corner, like, balled up because of what happened. And I was just trying to get myself together, crying. And my cousin asked me what happened over and over again. I eventually told him. We went looking for him, found him, but we didn't do nothing to him. We were too young. I was 10, he was 11. So we waited for my uncle and my older cousin, who was 5 years older than me, to get home. And we told them what happened, and he happened to be hanging right outside. Didn't know that we was in that building. My cousin, he came out. My uncle, he came out. And my other cousin who was with me came out. But they told me to stay in the house. So I watched from the window to see what happens. And I seen my cousin hit dude, and he got up and ran because my cousin had dropped him, and he got up and ran and never seen him again. Then years later, about 15, well, actually, I'm going to go back to 13. I meet my father for the first time. And he was locked up. I was in the streets. He was trying to get me to get out the streets. Being shot at and had a gun to my face. And the dude, he pulled the trigger, but the bullet went past my face because someone beeped the horn, and they scared them, and he ran off, and they ran to make sure I wasn't shot and stuff. And they found out I was good. And that's back to 15. Besides the, running in the streets, I was just shoplifting, gangbanging, getting jumped and selling things. Also, when I was 10 years old, back to that age, and I apologize for going back and forth. But I had this 18-year-old girl. She basically tricked me into having sex with her with video games, and that went on for a while until I got older. At age 15, I had got locked up because I got invited to a girl house, and we went over there to, have sex. And her grandparents walked in on us, and she lied and said that I tried to, force her to have sex. I tried to force myself upon her, but that's not true. And I got locked up for a temporary charge. And still got to deal with that for the rest of my life for something that I didn't do. At the time, I ain't believe in God. I didn't have an education, nothing like that, so I didn't know how to read, write. I didn't know how to do none of that stuff. So the system, they took advantage of that because they know I didn't know that. And no one in my family knew anything about the law because I've never been in trouble to the point where I actually had to fight a case. So I ended up getting 10 years, and I did 8. Came home when I was 23. Came home and got locked up the very next day because my PO violated me for looking for a job. Came home from that when I was 26. Had my first birthday home since 15. And I got locked up like 6 months after that because of my PO violated me for coming in the house late. Later on found out that he was violating me because of the color of my skin. And I eventually told the judge, just give me all the backup remaining time that I have and take me off probation. So I had 3 years over my head. And he gave me the whole 3 years, and I came home at 29. And I ended up staying in Maryland for a little bit. And then my mother at the time was living on Section 8, and I'm a felon, so I can't live with nobody on Section 8. So I had to leave. So I ended up moving to North Carolina with a homegirl of mine, ex-homegirl, who I called my sister. She let me stay with her for a little bit, where I ended up meeting this lady who I ended up getting married to. And after getting married to her, September 3rd, 2000, I ended up getting shot in the head by her, June 19th, 2021. And I was in the hospital for 17 days on life support. I had to learn how to walk over again. And as I was locked up, I kind of grew a relationship with God, but I didn't really know him like that. But it was this nurse, she told me about God. She kept on telling me that God, he can do anything. All I got to do is believe and have faith and trust in him. She kept putting motivational speakers for me and just helping me out. My mother and my grandma was doing the same thing too. And I was believing. I just believed. I ain't had nothing else to count on because the doctor told me I was going to die. I wasn't going to make it out the hospital. Told my mother the same thing. And I believed. I had faith. I prayed and I told God, I said, if you help me to make it out this situation, then I promise you I spread your word. So he granted me that. He granted me that. He as you can see, I'm still alive. The only thing I lost is my sense of smell with a bullet wound in my head. And he allowed me to walk again. I'm able to walk again. I can stand. I can walk. I'm able to walk again. My legs still work good. I mean, my body still functioning. My head's still functioning. For me to be brain dead, my head's still functioning. And I wasn't following by what I said I was going to do. I didn't follow what I told God that I was going to do. I went back to the streets. And I got locked up again. And my grandmother told me, she was like, God said that you gonna come home. And I had 6 months locked up, 6 more months locked up until I came home. And it was a weekend. So I told my grandma, I was like, Grandma, first of all, I still got time left. And, you know, it's a weekend. Ain't nobody getting released on the weekends. But like she said, God said it was going to release me, and God released me. Like, I went home that day on the weekend, on the Saturday. There was another time where she said the same thing, and I got released. And then I got sentenced to 3 years. One time, I was already in prison. Grandmother said the same thing. God said he was going to release me. I got released from prison. They messed up in my paperwork. God been blessing me. And I kept on just going against my word, going against my word, going against my word. And I ended up going back to the person I was married to. Well, currently married to, trying to get a divorce from. And she got me locked up, put a protective order on me, and then went to court and dropped the protective order and tried to get me to come back, and I just didn't want to do it. And I did things I wasn't supposed to do. I used her for rides and stuff like that. And at the time, I was recording these podcasts, and the podcasts helped me get closer to God. So, you know, I didn't want to be with her no more, and I prayed, and I was asking God to, you know, send somebody to me that, you know, I could be comfortable with, that's going to want me for me, that's going to accept everything from my past to my present to the future to everything. Like, I just want her to be from him perfect. She ain't got to be necessarily perfect, but just somebody that you want for me, that fits me. And I waited. A couple months go by. Still using her for rides. Well, not really using her, because she's offering the rides just to try to get me back. But she know I didn't want her back. I've been asked for divorce after divorce after divorce. And she just been fighting. But one day, I go to an appointment, and it's this nurse there. I'm not going to disclose her name, but you will see her, like, soon. She will be on here soon. But it was this nurse, and she smiled at me. And kind of like gave me a nice little conversation, indicating to me that she wanted me to talk to her. But I couldn't really do that because I wasn't trying to cause any problems inside there, because I was already having a bad day because I was around somebody that I didn't want to be around. But me seeing her, it made me feel better. And I enjoyed the conversation that we had, and I had in my mind, because I knew I had another appointment. So I had in my mind that if it was God's will, if she was working there again, the day, like, if she wasn't off and she was on, I was going to talk to her. I was going to find some way to talk to her. And when I walked into my appointment, she was there. Gave me that same smile. I prayed on God, asking him, like, if that's who he want me to be with. To don't let it be hard. Let it be easy. Let me just have a way to, you know, just basically get her. And I walked straight in. And I said, as soon as I got my chance to talk to her after the dude that was in front of me was talking to her, I told her straight up, I said, take my number down. And she just looked at me. And I said, take my number down. And she was like, okay, it's in the system. I'll write it down. I was like, all right, don't forget. I never given her my number and then taking her number down anyway. And God blessed me with somebody that's good. He blessed somebody that's perfect for me. And my life been changing ever since, like, I let go of my past and I just started letting God take control. Me and my mother, we get along. We weren't getting along at first. I got me a good girl now. Technically speaking, I got a good fiance now because we're engaged now. I'm just waiting for this divorce to happen and go through so we can get married. But God been blessing me from everything that I've been through. Getting beat up by police, being shot, being stabbed, and not being taken from this earth. I could have died a long time ago, but God kept me here. God allowed me to see these days and more days to come. He allowed me to get the perfect woman in my life who has 2 sons that I call my own, and they call me their father. They look at me as their biological father. And God know how much I want kids and a woman that's going to want me for me, and I will want her for her, and it's nothing but love there. And I get that and more. God bless him with the best woman I can never have. God bless him with the best life, the best mother, the best grandmother, the best everything. Ever since I gave everything over to him, it's been nothing but blessings. So the point of this right here, I want y'all to understand that God can do anything. God can do all things. And God will do all things. As long as you believe and you trust in him and never give up, no matter how hard the tough times are. Because they do get better. And it will continue to get better. And it will always get better. Because there's no other, way to live. There's no other way to go but to God. So my advice to you is depend on him. And when your time comes, share your testimony. This testimony part 1. I got more to come. But until then, this your boy T1. Much love. I love all y'all. So please like, share, and subscribe. Follow this page and make sure that everyone knows about it so they can learn God's word. But until then, peace out. I love y'all. T1, I'm gone.
I came out the fire, no smoke on me, scars in my soul, still I walk holy. They try to break me, but God rewrote me, endured the pain, now his glory shows me. Those who endure till the end shall be saved. I'm the Esther rising in these days, led out of Egypt, I'm blazing trails, from ashes to beauty, I lift the veil.
I was born in the chaos. Daddy was a pimp. Mama tried to push me off the bed soon as I slipped in. 8 years in the system, 15 homes in 1 year. Foster care, blues, molested, but I'm still here. Pastor had hands where they never should have been. Ran at 15 just to breathe, to escape the sin wasn't white, so the love was tough. Married a man, unequally yoked in pain. 15 years of storms, but I did